A lot of the music that's made these days is made by independent bands, bands who are not going to be in that top percent that make it to the major labels. And they've got to find a way to make themselves stick out from the crowd, right? There's so many. How do they do that?
Well, it's interesting. A couple of the artists from Warner Brothers, Rick Braun and Richard Elliott, started their own label called Artisan with their manager and a lawyer. And initially, they were not going to go into brick and mortar stores. They were only going to be available on the internet. And they wanted to try to market it that way, to where you had to come to their website or their MySpace site or one of their shows in order to buy the product. And I think that that's a good model. And I think that more and more artists are going to start taking, you can record the product in your home with the Pro Tools. You can manufacture up the CDs relatively easy. Most of people in here taking a computer class can generate a CD cover. And it's just a matter of putting it up and marketing it and seeing how many people you can get to buy it. I mean, you can all do it self-contained. I really think that the role of the record company is now more like a bank. Like you go to them, they advance you the money to do the things. And they have the personnel to advise you how to do it properly. But I think taking control of your own destiny is the way to go. I would advise everybody in here to, if you have that opportunity. I mean, a lot of people are waiting for the label to come down and hand you that magic check, and then you're going to be a rock star. It just doesn't happen that way anymore, and it's more and more you have to take responsibility, and you really have to be a little bit smarter than the people that you're entrusting your careers to.
Do you have to have a story? The artist has to have a story that separates themselves from them, from everybody else?
Yeah.
And then you got to market and tell that story.
Right.
And that's your job.
That's my job.
So when you handed an artist or a product to sell, do you try to investigate that? What is the story here? What can we sell this? How can we sell this?
Sure. Oh yeah, sure. We at Warner Brothers, when we signed Joshua Redman, the whole story behind him was he had won the Monk Award. So that was the story we started with. That he had won the Thelonious Monk competition. So there has to be a little nugget, something to talk about that makes them, just a little bit specialer than the next.
How much of a role does your personal relationships that you have with press and radio and other people in the industry, how much of a role does that play?
Relationships are everything. Relationships really are. I mean, it's a matter of getting the right person on the phone and getting to yes. So it's cold calling is very hard. I am really fortunate. I've been doing this for over 30 years, and I have a lot of friends who have migrated into positions of authority, and it's much easier to pick up the phone and call Russ Davis at XM and say, I need a favor, I need you to world premiere this record for me, than it would be for me to call up, hi, I'm Deborah Lewow, and I'm working for Peak Records, and type of thing. So yeah, the relationships really do mean everything.
And you're not going to use those relationships inappropriately, right? I mean, if you take them something that's not really worth their time, they're not going to like it when you call them again.
Oh, no. Credibility is everything. And you can't... I've always been really careful with people to say, do you like it? And if I like it, sure, yeah, I'll tell you I like it. If I don't like it, I can tell you about all the people that do.
Huh.
It's a matter of kind of changing it around. But... yeah, I think credibility and relationships are really key in what I do in trying to massage the artist along. And some of the smartest artists are the ones who also develop those relationships as well. I worked with a saxophone player at Warner Brothers named Huge Groove, and his first #1 single was called Slam Dunk. And he went and had these little basketball trophies made with thanks very much, Huge Groove, for all of the radio stations, and personalized with the program directors' names. And he did this at his own expense. And consequently, every time a new Huge Groove record comes in, they open it up and listen to it right away because he did something personal to touch them, to thank them for what they had done for him. So yeah, smart artists are the ones that... Kenny G has great relationships with the program directors and consultants. And in fact, Kenny G just signed on to be one of the guest disc jockeys on the Smooth Jazz Network. So he's going to be a DJ
Well, that's good for
because he
comedians.
needs the money, right?